everyone, how's it going? My name is Josh L, and in today's video I'm going to be giving y'all some tips to deal with spondylolisthesis. Now, spondylolisthesis is something that I have dealt with for a while now. It's been almost 3 years. At the end of January will mark the 3-year period. But along the way I have learned a lot of things to help quiet the condition, and by quiet I mean just limit the pain. Now, spondylolisthesis, if you don't know what it is, you can look it up for more detail if you want, but basically my spine is kind of shifted forward a little bit, and I have 2 broken vertebrae, so my spine is a little disformed, and 2 of the vertebrae are broken like I just said. One is completely broken in half. I'll show the x-ray on here, and then the other one is just fractured. The break there is very, very noticeable, and it's going to stay like that for the rest of my life unless I have surgery later on. Literally nothing has helped to heal my vertebra, but the pain is pretty much gone now. I still deal with it sometimes, but not nearly as much, and when it does happen, it's not as bad. Like in the beginning, when it first happened, I remember struggling to walk up and down stairs. I remember having to just bend my knees and then drop to my knees if I needed to pick something up instead of, bending over. Couldn't do that. It was a very painful time. But hopefully, if you deal with that same thing, these tips will help you out. Now, obviously, you need to listen to your doctor and everything, but these are just tips that have worked for me, so I'm sharing them with you. And you can run these tips by your doctor if you want to, or you can just try them out, whatever. But let's go ahead and get started. One tip I have for you is to squat and deadlift. This might seem kind of counterintuitive, but as soon as I started squatting and deadlifting, my pain went away. And I was reading up and researching about it, and it turns out a whole lot of other people had the same exact thing happen. When they weren't deadlifting and squatting, they had a bunch of pain. When they started deadlifting and squatting, their pain went away. It either went away completely or was significantly decreased. Now, another exercise is the hip thrust. The hip thrust gets the lower back involved, it gets the glutes involved, it gets the hamstrings involved, and it strengthens your glutes to help your glutes take on more load and help out the lower back, so there's less pain on the lower back. So hip thrust, get a nice base here with your feet, drop your hips down and extend, fully extend, squeeze those glutes as hard as you can, and that's how you do the hip thrust. I've been able to build up quite a bit of strength with that. I can do 255 pounds for 12 reps, and that's actually not as good as a lot of other people, but it's still good for me. So yeah, the first tip, include those exercises into your training. Deadlift, squat, hip thrust. My doctor told me not to do those exercises. Well, I did them, and now I feel great. Okay, another tip I have for you is to not squat as deep. You can still go to 90 degrees or a little less, but don't go ass to grass, all right? Okay, so instead of going all the way down here, just go to about 90 degrees or a little less, and then come back up. Okay, another thing is I switched to low bar, and the reason for that is because when I go high bar on my upper traps here, all right, when I do this, all that load is directing straight down on my spine, and those breaks in my back, my lower back, they're not able to support this like it would if they weren't broken. So instead of having high bar like this, I switch to low bar where it's resting on my delts. Pick it up, and it's not as direct on my spine, so it feels a whole lot better. Give it a try if that is something you struggle with. My next tip is that I stretch every single day. I never don't stretch. So I'll show you 3 of my favorite stretches. One, I'm sitting like this, okay, on the floor, and I'll show you this way, and then I just come down. Now, not everybody can do this, but if you can't, even if you can't, you need to work on it, but if you can, try getting down as low as you can. Bring one elbow around, drop, and then even reach out. Oh man, I am super tight in this area quite often because of my breaks. Oh my God. Yeah, it feels amazing. But yeah, your body's pretty smart, okay? If you've got a break, the muscles around it will tighten to help support that break. So with my lumbar breaks, with my lumbar vertebrae breaks, the muscles around the vertebra are tightening to help support that vertebra. And therefore, I've got to stretch out every day, because if I don't, I'm going to get super tight in there. And after squats, after deadlifts, it always gets super tight. Okay, but that was the first stretch. Another stretch. This is more of like a mobility type thing, but I'll show you this way again. There we go. Okay, hands out. Try to keep your hips pretty still and roll over. Open up those hips. Stay here for a few seconds. Then go to the other side. This also feels amazing. Okay, the last stretch. If you sit a lot, this will be a helpful stretch. If you are not sitting a lot throughout the day, just skip this stretch. Basically, your hip flexors will get tight from sitting a lot. So what I do is I bring one leg up, all the way up, and I just drop this hip. So drop it. And it's hard to keep on fighting through that, because it's an intense stretch. It really is. It really is. And you got to keep going though. Try to get a nice stretch on that, really loosen them up. So those are a few of my favorite stretches. Now, the next tip I have for you is to train core every single day, or at least often, okay? Every other day. Maybe you dedicate a full day to your ab training. That's not what I recommend, but if you do that, cool. But if that's not working for you, definitely try doing it for 5 to 10 minutes every day, or at least every other day, like I said. Definitely work on hanging leg raises. Get a stretch in this bottom position. All right, come up and bring your legs all the way up to help activate the abs fully. All right, so don't just come to level. Come all the way up. So work on hanging ab exercises. Work on statics like the cliffhanger plank. All right, that's a great exercise. The dragon flag is another great one. Okay, different styles of crunches. Don't just do regular straight up crunches. Those are boring. Mix it up, try to find a new way to do them. Do stability exercises and rotational exercises. So for example, if I had like a band here, I'd be trying to pull it across my body. So that's an example of rotational ab exercises. So those are just a few examples, but please do yourself a favor and train your core if you have this condition. You should be training your core even if you don't have this condition, but especially if you have this condition. Train your core. I promise you it'll help out. All right, the next tip I have for you is, it kind of goes along with core training, but you're going to train the lower back and glute med. So, a way to do that is physio ball hyperextensions. What you want to do is get your feet hooked under something. I'm having a hard time doing that here with this bench, but maybe I can show you this way. All right, get your feet hooked on something. Stick the ball on your thighs. Get yourself up on it. Okay. Oh. All right, and yeah, this is not working out. I have a better place to do it at the gym I work out at, but this will have to do for a minute while I'm showing you. Okay, so hold yourself here, come down, bring yourself back up. And don't go all the way up like this. That could actually worsen your condition because it's like narrowing the spine there. So just come to level, all right? So come down and come back to level, not all the way up there. Now, a couple glute med exercises. Let me bring this down here, okay? Get yourself in a band here. Just wrap it around your knees. Not wrap, but just put your knees in it, your legs in it, and lay here, do some clamshells, all right? Now, this is a little loose. Ideally, you'd have a little tighter band with more resistance, but you get the idea here. So, from here, try to rotate out and squeeze that glute. Maybe do 2 or 3 sets of 15 every day. okay? Or include it in your workouts even. I'll give you an example on how to do that. So to include it in your workouts, have your legs in a band once again, and you can do goblet squats. So grab yourself a dumbbell right here and have a band around your knees and squat. Try to keep those knees pushed out, all right? It's gonna try to pull them in, but push them out and activate that glute med. So those are a couple exercises that I do every day to help keep my back feeling good. Obviously not any one of these things that I tell you is going to do the trick, or maybe it will, but most likely not. It's a combination of all these things that will really help you the most. Something I mentioned before is that my lower back gets very, very tight after I squat and deadlift, and so that's just something I have to deal with. It's not going to stop, so like I said, it's just something I'm going to have to deal with. Now, since we're on the topic of squats and deadlifts, the next tip I have for you is to just make sure your form is spot on, all right? If you're doing squats, okay, make sure you are bringing the hips back, then bending at the knees, and staying upright, okay? Keep that chest up, let the hips and chest move together, okay? If you're deadlifting, make sure, once again, you are letting the hips drop first and then bend at the knees, okay? And then here, you're keeping your shoulders back, leaning back, keep the weight on your heels, and push through your legs. All right, sometimes when people are using heavy weight, going for a max or something, they'll tend to kind of let their hips shoot up, and then they'll be pulling like this, and using a whole lot more back than they should be. So keep those hips down, shoulders back, and deadlift like this. And by the way, I'm guilty of that last thing I just told you about. I let my hips rise on the deadlift and then kind of lifting with a straight back. That's not good, especially for someone with my condition. Okay, one of the coolest tips. The reason I say it's cool is because it works instantly, all right? Okay, so that tip is to squeeze your glutes. Let your glutes take on some of the load, help out your lower back. That lower back pain goes away immediately. All right, so say you're at the top of the deadlift. Squeeze those glutes hard, all right? So all that weight is not just going down on your spine. In a squat especially, since it's on your back, it's an actual load, okay? Squeeze your glutes at the top of the rep. Come down, squeeze. Not only squeeze your glutes, but take a breath and brace your stomach and spine before you go down, okay? So if I can show you real quick, I'm taking a breath and I'm bracing, okay? That also helps the pain to go away. So here is an example. And I'm squeezing my glutes at the top of the rep. Same thing for even the shoulder press. If you're doing a overhead barbell or dumbbell shoulder press, squeeze your glutes while you're standing there. Make sure your glutes are helping out. Okay, so something I want to just say is that how do I say this? Okay, so doctors, they are great. They help out a lot of people. But for me, I'm not trying to sound like, oh, like I know what I'm talking about, although I do know a lot of things. I'm not trying to sound like I know everything, okay, because I definitely don't. But I feel bad kind of even saying this, but I experienced much more progress, and by progress I mean like pain relief and stuff, from doing my own thing, like reading books on the subject, watching videos on the subject, and just experimenting with different things I wanted to try out. I had much more progress by doing those three things than listening to my doctor, okay? Like I said, doctors are great, but they didn't help me with this condition. I had physical therapy, but I was already doing pretty much everything that the physical therapist wanted me to do. I was already working on all of it. And even actually three of the physical therapists said that my core is as strong as an ox. And he's like, I don't even know why you're here, dude. I don't know why they put you in here. But so instead of doing the exercises that they had for me, he would just dig into my hips, help release some of that tension in there, and then working my lower back, my upper back. He'd work in there and help me to feel better that way, and that really helped. But you know, chiropractor, that helped a little bit. Let's see, what else did they try? They tried back injections. That didn't help a single bit. So I woke up at 3 in the morning to go to the hospital for back injections for no reason. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, just doing these things that I've told you, training my core every day, stretching, squeeze my glutes at the top of every rep on squats, shoulder press, deadlifts, deadlifting and squatting. I actually do those things with this condition and it helps me. Okay, not squatting as deep, switching to low bar instead of high bar with it up on your traps. It's going to be resting on your rear delts. Please, if you have this condition, try these out, try these tips out. I know they will help you. And so, yeah, that's everything I got to say. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for 500 subscribers, by the way. We're sitting at 502 subscribers right now. I'll have a little special video coming out soon, very, very soon. Most likely, see, today's Tuesday. Most likely to Wednesday or Friday. Maybe Sunday. Hopefully not Sunday. I'll try to have it out Wednesday or Friday. So, yeah, that's everything. By the way, I'm selling some programs that I made. It just has my exact workouts, exactly what I eat and everything. So if you're interested in that, just click the link in my description to my PayPal and send me $10 if you want 1 month of workouts and $20 if you want 3 months of workouts. Obviously, you save $10 with the second option. Once again, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for 500 subscribers. I'm very grateful, and let's just keep on going, guys. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. We should be there by January or February, maybe even sooner. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video.